Welcome. We've got a new show here on EL Plus, and it is called Spirits on the High Plains. I'm Terry Furman. Joining me today is also David Hoagland. You can hear him in the background.
How are you doing, Terry?
I'm good, David. How are you?
Doing great.
All right. And we are joined. We're so excited to have Fear Faction Paranormal with us today. We've got Chelsea.
Hello.
And Bobby.
Hello, guys. My bad.
He's Chelsea now.
Yeah.
He's Chelsea, too. We can call him pretty
my
much
bad,
anything
guys.
we want, and he'll answer. Guys, y'all have done a lot of paranormal investigations, you know, here and around the area. Now, talk to me about how y'all got into this.
Well, basically just experiencing stuff as a kid and growing up. And, of course, nobody really believes you because you're a kid and they think, like, oh, it's just your imagination, you know, and it's just cool now knowing that there's a lot of people out there that believe in the same stuff you did when you were growing up. And just experiencing weird things, like, as a kid, like seeing shadow figures and hearing noises and stuff is what made me question, like what's after, like, you know, when we pass on or stuff like that. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to get into it more, just exploring.
And Bobby, what about you?
Same thing, pretty much. Just growing up into it, you know, like seeing things that was like unsure of, and of course, it all comes with the noises, you know, the knocks, or like hearing something, or you know, just something out of nowhere. And I mean, I basically just grew up into seeing things like that. And I could tell you a lot more, but some of the other things that I've seen growing up are just a little bit more in detail. That, you know, it's just something that's a little bit more personal. But, yeah, just even getting into it and then having people, you know, like she said, actually believing what you're telling them, and then knowing that there is a possibility that there can be something out there is a pretty cool feeling, especially for us to do what we do. That's the reason we do it, is to try to get answers, you know, for people.
Very true. That's cool. Now, what do y'all use to investigate? What are your tools? What do you rely on?
REM pod right now, and we do have a flashlight, and then we got cat balls, and we use walkie-talkies, and then I guess EMF readers as well. REM pod, if you've ever been investigating or doing anything paranormal, basically like an EMF detector, it reads EMF.
Changes in temperatures.
Yeah, and you can go up to the antenna, and basically I don't know how much the radius of it is, but you can actually like go so far into that antenna, and it starts to penetrate like all these little lights. Now, if you grab the antenna, then it's a solid beeping. So it's got temperature change, like Chelsea said. If it's lighting up blue, then that means there's a drop in temperature. EMF readers, basic, you know, EMF reader, you just pick it up, and as long as there's nothing there that's electrical, it shouldn't trigger it. Okay. But that's why, like, when we investigate abandoned places, that thing goes off, then obviously something's there and it's triggering it. Cat ball is pretty simple too. You can go up to a cat ball, touch it, and it'll light up. And you physically have to touch the cat ball for it to even go off. Flashlight, and it's kind of funny because we had a comment in one of the YouTube videos, I believe, or TikTok videos, where they talked about, oh, well, I don't know if I believe that, because it could be that it's an a remote control. Remote controlled flashlight.
But we've never heard of a remote controlled flashlight.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of a remote controlled flashlight. So like, if y'all can point me out to a remote controlled flashlight, then I'd be more than willing to check that out. But basically, you get a mag light, right? And you twist it on and off. Mag light, you twist on and off. And so we set it to a point where it's between on and off. Basically, it sets it up as a touch lamp. Yeah. So when you touch it, or you even try to tap it, it'll turn off and on. And I find that really useful when we're doing what we do, because we've gotten a lot of confirmation with the flashlight, REM pod some, and then cat balls. So
let me ask you a question, Bobby. Your first experience, do you remember it?
My first experience? Yeah, I do.
And what did you think when you first, if you saw a shadow figure, if you heard something, what was your first thought through your mind?
I mean, I was a kid, so I freaked out a little bit. And I mean, it sounds weird, and I'm going to share the story with you. Like I said, I was between 7, 8 years old, and me and my cousin were playing in the living room area. we had 2 toys that we were playing with at the time, and if I can remember correctly, they were Transformers. So we had these toys standing up in the middle of the living room area. So we took off and do something else. I can't remember what we did. We ran into a room, came back out, and I came back out, and I literally saw those toys moving. And right at the moment when I seen it, though, it's like they dropped. So I was like, and that was me. Like, I freaked out. I told my cousin, I told my grandma, and of course they didn't believe me.
Yeah.
But I was shocked. I was afraid, and being a kid, that to me it was like, okay, like I was thinking all sorts of things. But then when you grow into it more, you start to understand it a little bit more, and like, okay, it could be this or it could be that.
Okay. Wow. Chelsea, what about your first experience?
Mine's a little traumatizing, but whenever I was little, like around, I wouldn't say little, like a teenager, I had this woman that would come out of my closet, and it sounds weird, but it was like an older lady, and she would sometimes she would leave bruises on my arm and stuff, and it's scary talking about it, and sometimes one night I had woken up out of a deep sleep because I felt like something biting me, and I woke up. I was screaming and crying. I ran to my dad, and sure enough there was a bite mark on my back, my lower back, and I was like, well, it's probably the old lady in the closet. So that's one of my experiences. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. My dad is the one that mainly believed me, but everybody else are like, oh, it's just your imagination. It's like, I can't do it to myself. I can't bite my own back.
I was going to say, yeah, that would be a lot impossible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that was one of my early experiences. But I've had many others whenever I was way younger. Yeah. And I've just always been fascinated with the thought of, like, oh, it's probably something after, like, what happens when you pass on.
Now, do y'all feel like you're a little bit intuitive? Do you feel like, it's more naturally coming to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like each person is different from what they attract. Some people can attract, like, different things. Some people attract negative things.
Yeah.
We like to think that we attract kind of both, but not a lot of the bad energy. Okay. It's always, like, positive and just someone trying to reach out to people that they can see that communicates with the
afterlife.
Yeah. But it's definitely changed, though. Like I said, from being a kid and experiencing what I saw into now that we actually go into these places that, are said to be haunted. And like she mentioned, some of the experiences can be bad. And, I mean, we have one that was really bad. But, again, it's just a story that, if Chelsea wants to share it, she can. But I've gotten scratched 3 times. Out of the 8 years that we've been doing this, I've gotten scratched 3 times. I mean, that's just part of what comes with, doing things like that. And we came to get comfortable with it. I mean, it sounds weird, but we're used to that. Like, okay, we know what we're going into, and we know what can be, what can be.
What to expect.
Yeah, what can happen. And so... I mean, it can be bad, and it can be just a simple conversation with somebody that's there.
Wow. You definitely, go back. That's obvious.
Yeah.
You go back to it, so it cannot be too bad.
Yeah.
But folks, we're going to take a break really quick, and we will be right back with more Spirits on the High Plains. Welcome back to Spirits on the High Plains. I'm Terri Furman, and this is our first episode, and we are talking about the paranormal. David Hoagland joining me as your host today. So, David, I'm going to let you take it away.
So, earlier, we went for the break. You were talking about you've been scratched, and you've been doing it for 8 years. This isn't for the faint-hearted. This is for the people that really want to understand paranormal, what you do. So, if you could, give me an experience that you had where you left and you did not want to go back.
Well, we left and didn't want to go back, and it sounds funny because we always want to go back. But
I was trying to think, like, I can't really think of a place.
If there had to be one situation that I would say that I don't want to go back was man, I want to say it would have been the Sally House, and that's in Atchison, Kansas.
Yeah.
And I got scratched, but it's like the feeling you get, like people don't understand that. Like I was sitting in a chair where the basement led. Like right in front of the basement entrance, the basement stairs and everything were behind me. So I was sitting there. We were doing the Nestus method, and Chelsea was asking these questions. And so I guess one of the questions, going back to the video, was if there's somebody behind Bobby or whatever, can you go up to him and touch him? And so it ended up happening that I felt something touch me on my lower back. And so the minute I felt that, at first I wanted to debunk it as a little back muscle spasm or something. I was like, okay. I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm not gonna freak out. I think it's just my muscles or something just sitting here. And I let it go on. And I don't know what else she asked and what I said, but I actually felt somebody or something grab me from the back, lower back. Wow. And that's whenever I jumped out of that seat and I ran out into the living room area. I think I remember
asking you, like, if you're downstairs, come up and touch Bobby on the back.
Yeah. And when that happened, that feeling right there that you actually feel something touch you, it terrifies you, because you're like, okay, no, I'm done with this. And we have ran out of some places because of things we hear, but this one in general was like, okay, like, yeah, I didn't want to go back in. I mean, I didn't want to go back, but then we ended up leaving a little bit earlier than what we were supposed to have left from our overnight stay there, just because of that reason. But yeah, that would have to be one of my experiences where I felt like I didn't want to go back, but of course, after the time given that you're away from there, you're like, okay, we can go back again. But that was my experience there, was just feeling that, and then afterwards, I ended up having a scratch on my back.
That's basically crazy. Going back to poke the hornet's nest.
Right, exactly. Chelsea, what about you?
I want to say, I'm like what Bobby said. It's like it's hard to pick a place because you love doing it, and that's why we do it. But I want to say it's that jail that we went to, not the one here in Lubbock, but the one in
Claremont, right?
Claremont, Texas. Claremont. Yeah, that one was just a weird experience, because if you're familiar with like the
Hispanic folklore, the lechuza, basically meaning a witch. Yeah.
That one was crazy, because when we pulled up to the little building, it's like in the middle of nowhere, but there's like a busy road that's right there. And when we pulled up, I told Bobby, like, there's like a lady standing over there by the tree. And he was like, there's not a lady over there because we're in the middle of nowhere. But if you read up on the folklore, it's like basically like a witch takes form in like an owl. And I could tell by her feet, it looked like the claws of an owl. And whenever we were going to get off, it flew off. But then shortly after that, we started hearing like a baby crying. But then I was like, well, there's no baby out here because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Right.
And then after that, it just started getting like crazy, like with a bunch of random sounds. And we had there was a rock that was somehow thrown on top of because the building, it's an old rock formation, like a brick building, but there's no roof.
Yeah, there's no hole
it's just
on the roof or anything.
The metal jail cells that are inside, and the roof is open. So somehow a rock was thrown over to the inside where we were at, and we were inside the jail cells. So that was a pretty crazy experience, just being out in the middle of nowhere,
right,
and no people around. And it was just me and him too, like at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was like about. Yeah, it was pretty late. I think it was about 12 midnight, maybe 1 o'clock when we were nearing like the time to end it and go back home. But like she mentioned, it's an old jail cell. I think it was like from the 1800s or something. But the thing with that one is that, like she said, it's not in a busy spot, but there was a road on both sides of that where it's located at. And then there was I believe some people would stay there for work on the opposite side. They had it fenced up, so a construction site. But I mean, when I started hearing that howling and everything, and I know that urban legend of all that, it's like it freaked me out. Like
And it's crazy because it started off crying like as a baby, like a baby crying, and then it just started turning into like a woman crying, like if she was sobbing.
Wow.
So then we were like, yeah, no, we're not going to mess with this no more. And then we just took off.
Yeah. We ran out of there. We literally ran out of there.
Yeah.
So you see shows of paranormal investigators, and some go in and they instigate, and some go in and they just want to better understand.
Yeah.
What is your style?
I do instigate a little bit, but not too bad. But like when we're not getting anything, but you sometimes don't get something, on camera or whatever. But when we don't, then I do instigate just a little bit, but not to where I'm like really provoking it, because I've learned the hard way, when you provoke something, it'll come after you, even when you're not at the location anymore. So being Catholic and having done this before, my mom was always afraid I'm going to bring something home with me.
Yeah.
It's like, Mom, I have holy water, I have crosses. What do you take with you?
In all honesty, we don't have anything.
He likes to say like prayers before we do anything.
Usually I'll just say a prayer before, like, okay, can you protect us as we go into this location? Let us be safe and whatnot. And then, so that's the way we do it.
Wow. Okay, we're going to get into some of the experiences that you guys have had. We've got some video clips to show. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with more Spirits on the High Plains. Welcome back to Spirits on the High Plains. We are joined today by David Hoagland, who's my co-host, and we've also got Chelsea and Bobby, who are with Fear Faction Paranormal, and we're going to talk about some of the experiences that you guys have and some of the video. We got a clip from the Hotel Texan, which is in Seagraves. Guys, tell us about what's happening here. What are you hearing? What are you seeing?
We're doing Nessus method on this one, so that's why it goes back and forth to the guy laying in the bed. He was in headphones. If you know about the Nessus method, it's pretty much noise canceling. Headphones that you put on, so you can't hear anything that we're asking in the other room. So basically, he's got the headset on, and he's running a spirit box through it. So what we're asking out there is, we're trying to see if it'll like correlate to what we're asking, pretty much. And so what we were doing there was asking him, hey, if you want us to get out of this room, confirm it by turning on the flashlight. And obviously the flashlight gets turned on after the second time that it tells us to get out. And that's what shocked us, was like, okay, the first time I was like, okay, get out. And they were like, oh, okay. I asked Chelsea right there when I looked at her.
My facial expression.
Yeah. I asked her, like, well, do you think that's serious? Like, obviously.
I was like, how serious can it get?
So.
You want something thrown or?
Yeah. So when that happened, we're respectful when it comes to communicating with spirits. If they don't want us there and it tells us to get out, then we get out. So shortly after that, we definitely got out of there.
Okay. Tell us about this next clip at the church.
Bo Martin Saint. Okay, the Catholic church.
That's the one in Vera, Texas.
Yeah. And that one, same thing. We were our cameraman there. It was funny because we're asking, like, who do you want in here by ourselves? Like, do you want one of us in here by ourselves? And so right before we said that, I think I was counting down, and it said Matthew. Matthew was the camera guy. And so it kept, and it was kind of funny because we asked it again, and then to confirm it before I could even finish the sentence,
the flashlight
it turned it off.
Turned off.
Yeah.
And we all freaked out because we were like, oh, it's calling for Matthew to be by
Just
himself.
leave him in there. Just leave him in there and go.
And so sadly, though, after that, we had to leave because he did start feeling like he was getting a headache. So something there, I'm not going to say it was bad, whatever, but it did affect him. And that's the thing, people don't understand, too. Like, it's fun doing it. But if you're not like really being serious about it and you're just going in there for kicks, it can turn bad really quick. And it was kind of a funny moment because it was asking for him in general, and we're like, okay, we need to leave because he started saying, I'm feeling bad, like I don't feel good, my head's hurting, and so we got out of there.
Kent County Jail.
Oh yeah. This is the one that I didn't like.
Yeah, you can explain right there what you started hearing.
Yeah, that right there, I think in that moment is whenever we heard like scuffling outside. And of course, there was nobody around. It was just me and him.
I think
And
it was
then-
actually when we started hearing the noises.
Was it the crying outside?
Yeah, because you said that sounds like a lady or a woman
I think
or
it was
a baby.
a baby crying at first. Yeah.
And so when we started hearing that, I mean, we started to panic. So that's why it clearly shows me trying to hurry up
Yeah.
and get everything. And right when I was getting that speaker there that you see, that's when we heard the rock on the top,
yeah, the rock
and that's
hit
what
it.
caused us to run out of there.
Oh, wow.
So
So the point
yeah.
where we're forgetting our equipment.
Yeah, we're forgetting everything. She was like, "Did you get the cat ball?" I was like, "Where's the cat ball? Hold on, like hold on."
He was getting aggravated at me.
You're
like,
"Don't
"Get
leave
our
me
stuff."
behind."
Hold up.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty intense moment right there at the end.
There's always good moments and then there's always bad
Yeah.
moments, which everybody has those moments.
Right.
Right? So the old Lubbock County Jail.
That one was
okay.
actually pretty fun.
That's the part where you saw
Yeah.
something in there, right there at the doorway.
And we thought it was the groundskeeper,
Mhm.
but he was like, I want to say like a good, what, 5?
He wasn't even close. Let's just
He was
say
like
that.
across the parking lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I,
And we
I
were barely
believe he was
walking
going
out.
back to see and check on us that night.
Mm.
And before anything, I stayed there to kind of see what it was, and I was trying to see what Chelsea was seeing, and I did see a black shadow at the door right there where the light's at.
Like it peeked
Yeah,
around.
right there,
Yeah.
right there. And
It
so,
wasn't that sign. It like
no,
it
it
popped
was a
out.
movement. Yeah, somebody moved across from it. That's what I saw.
Yeah, because whenever we got out, we inspected like that area where the door was at, and we're like, well, there's a sign right here, so it's not the sign we were seeing.
Right.
And so when we got out of there, we were walking out like, oh no, let's just go. I don't know what what that was. And then we saw the guy like clearly on the opposite side
Yeah, and
coming
there's
back.
no way he could run across
Oh.
the parking lot into another parking lot into his truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was something we couldn't explain at the
And
moment.
it's fenced
so,
off, so it's not like somebody was outside waiting at the door.
Yeah.
So you guys travel everywhere. You don't just stay.
Yeah,
in
we
Lubbock.
we've been to Kansas, like I said, to Sally House. We've been to Mineral Wells, but out of state, we've been to Louisiana before. We went out to Bonnie and Clyde's. I guess where, the movie of Bonnie and Clyde, where they actually finally take them out. I guess I
Right.
don't want to say it wrong, but okay, that actual site is in Gibbsland, Louisiana. And so we went out there and did some sessions there before. Where else have we been? Jefferson? No, that's still in Texas. Louisiana, we've been to Kansas.
We plan on going to Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's on the list for this year. And that one's going to be the Axe Murder House.
Oh,
And
the
so-
Velisca house.
Yeah.
That's one of the big ones on the list this year. And then, of course, we got Sam and Kobe's for our school that we want to do. That's also located in Iowa.
We're aiming to go to the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get way too
Appalachian,
much.
yeah.
But we have been
Appalachian.
talking to some people that if it all works out, we're definitely going to be going to a
cabin.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
A cabin out there in the Appalachian Mountains where we're going to be staying for the night and doing some stuff there.
Wow.
So when you go to these places, you already have an idea of what you're going to expect, or is it? Do you go in like, hey, I don't know what we're going to see in
Yeah,
here?
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of fill out like the area, where we're at, and then
Wow.
yeah.
So y'all don't do a lot of like research
No.
on the location prior
Yeah,
to.
no.
Okay.
we just see where it's at, how far away it is, and how much it costs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we do look at some of the research on it, like see what people have said or what
Right.
they've experienced
Yeah,
and stuff
like
like that, just to
their
kind of get
views
an idea.
are.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, we just and every place people don't understand. Like they'll ask us, "How do we get into this place?" We ask permission. Like we don't go and we just trespass. We ask for
Yeah.
permission, and we just get the yes on it, and we're like, but you do not want to go into places that you
That
just
are-
think, oh well, let's go in because
Yeah.
you can get into some trouble doing that. But we ask
Well, and it can
permission
be
for every
dangerous
place.
because
Yeah.
it's dark.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know if there's like squatters
Mm-hmm.
or.
Right. Yeah. It can
That's
be
the
very
main
dangerous.
thing we pay attention to when we go and investigate abandoned places or places like that.
For
Yeah.
sure. Well, gosh, thank you both for being on here and kind of, explaining what you do, taking a look at some of the examples. And, we'll continue this conversation again in another episode. But for David, myself, Chelsea, Bobby, thank you so much for being with us. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it. And they are Fear Faction Paranormal. You can find them on YouTube. And, of course, we'll have more information coming up in the coming months. That does it for us on Spirits of the High Plains.